Well, hi, Snowman. We're together again, this time on Friday. Yes, Friday. I propose that from now on, Friday will remain the day when we will have uh, the our sessions, personal development program sessions. I'm looking at the chat now, and I am notice the presence of many friends. Well, Lancelot, you are asking where life? Yes, man, where life? Savez Ansari. Oh, Forex professor, KYC. Yes, we'll talk today about KYC. Pastor Joseph, welcome. Many friends. Um, Matthew, hi, hi, man. Ibrahim, uh, all of you are welcome at our fourth session of ICE Personal Development Program. Thank you to those who applying a lot of determination, proving consistency, discipline, and desire to evolve. Participate in every session of this program. Congrats, man. You are the ones who continue in this way. You will evolve and you will be successful. I congratulate all those who have started to apply practically some of these things we have covered here. During this session, I will also answer some of your questions. Allow me to ask you some questions too, to which I would really like you to give me honest answers, and many of you as possible. I have wondered why we don't have several 100,000 snowmen to join this program. Do most ICE users understand what is happening here? What do you think? Maybe it would be good to specify once more what we do here, what this ICE personal development program is. I'm convinced that the vast majority of users want to themselves and their families to gain freedom, independence, and prosperity. They want to be able to fulfill series of personal family goals. That's why they look for various ways to get the much desired prosperity, freedom, independence. But most of them don't even know what they look for and where. Well, uh, we're familiar with old saying, give a man a fish and he will have something to eat today. Well, give a man a fishing rod and he will be able to feed himself for a lifetime. It's very simple, for sure. If you give him a simple fish, you are nothing doing with him any good. He will eat today, and tomorrow he will again have nothing to put on the table. But think about it. If I give him a fishing rod, he will have the chance to catch his own fishes for a month ago. Something else comes into play here. Very important. He should know how to fish. Well, this is where the personal development program comes in. ICE network is like a fishing rod. But if you don't know how to fish, you'll be like a sucker with a stick in the water, and you'll still be starving. Do you understand why we initiated this program? Do you understand why we say that you are the ones who give ICE added value? Believe me, the most successful people who operate in this industry have that knowledge and skills we are talking about at ICE Personal Development Program. Moreover, they paid for this knowledge hard money. They gave many thousands of dollars for this knowledge and skills. Are these some fools? These people from this world that many of you dreams of pay not only with money, but also with their times for this knowledge and skills. Do you remember what I said in one of our previous sessions? Time is the most valuable resource. Well, yes, they allocated time, their precious time, to participate in the various courses and seminars of this type. Well, if the leaders of the industry participate and acquire knowledge and skills of this type, we who want to access this world would not be normal to be more than enthusiastic, especially since only here participation in such a program is free. I noticed that many of you enter the live stream, stay for 5 minutes, and then exit. I wonder if you don't have the patience, if you don't have the strength to concentrate for an hour to acquire this knowledge and skills, then how do you think you will be able to achieve your life goals? Do you think you have enough knowledge? Are you wise enough? Do you have enough emotional intelligence to be successful in your life and achieve your goals? Look, I am a sociologist and a teacher with 38 years of experience, working with groups of people in intellectual, emotional, and spiritual evolution. Even after 30 years of work, I still consider that I still have a lot to learn. I also lack of number of skills, which if I had, I would definitely be better than I am now. Speaking of questions and answers, I have a question for you. How many of you have studied the knowledge base on the ICE website? I ask you, how many of you have studied, not how many have opened the website for 2 minutes and did not have the patience to study what is written there. The language barrier is not valid as an argument. The site is translated into the most common 50 languages. Although 70% of your questions can be answered in this knowledge base. Now, you understand what I say that the first exercise I propose it is to set your goals. Do you remember what we started with? We started with a potential project, which can also be a professional or a life project. We started with setting purpose and objective. Well, what purpose do you have? Have you asked yourself this question? Please do it. It's a very, very good exercise. What purpose do you have? Most of you will notice that you do not yet have a defined purpose, a destination, vision for your future. If we don't have a purpose, how can we set our goals? Well, what objective can you set so that be achieving then the purpose established by you will also be achieved? What are these objectives? And how do you take the first step on the road of 1,000 miles? Did you remember the road of 1,000 miles? Our uh, the second lesson? Yes. Well, how do you apply consistency and discipline on the way to achieving your personal goals? How do you apply consistency and discipline? It's very, very important. Do you think that by staying at the current level of knowledge and skills, you will get what you want? You will achieve the purposed objective? I'm going to ask you from now, uh, not get upset and to interpret what I say as the advice, give with the best intentions. I want to tell you a big truth. If you don't evolve, if you don't get out the state of relative comfort and laziness, you will not achieve your goals. Only by being open to learning and acquiring new skills, you can become that you aspire to be. Again, only by being open to learning and acquiring new skills can you become what you aspire to be. Well, another advice: stop complaining about the state you are in, both materially, socially, or emotionally. Stop blaming someone else or something else all the time. Only you are the ones who will be able to determine the change. You will also remember that we talked here in our very first meeting that to start on a path, you need determination. But to complete it, you need consistency and discipline. In order to set off and to obtain determination, two other things are needed. Do you remember? I will remember you. To have a destination and to have the energy to take the first step. to have the motivation to set off. Let's watch a short video together and then we will come back.
We all have dreams, but what happens when we leave our dreams just as they are? Dreams, they float in our minds as intangible as clouds, fueling disappointment as they drift away unfulfilled. Dreams without goals are just dreams. It's goals that give our dreams direction, a target to aim for. To reach those targets, we need discipline, commitment, and most importantly, consistency. Commitment is the starting line. Without it, we'd never leave the blocks or take that first stride. But consistency, it's the pace, the stride that keeps you moving forward and in the race. It's your never give up attitude. Because you'll never finish the race without consistency. You'll never transform your dreams into reality. So, dream big, set goals, commit, and most importantly, stay consistent. Your dreams are waiting.
Do you think that prosperity will fall on you from somewhere out of the air? Do you think that you only need to be there when prosperity falls from the sky so that it also falls on you like that? At least a little big prosperity. Of course, it's a joke, but it hides the truth. Many people imagine that it's just a matter of luck, which some have, others don't. Well, they are in a big, big error. Saying that there isn't the contribution of chance, of luck. Somewhere maybe 3-5%. But for the most part, to access prosperity, you need much more than that. You may have noticed that I am talking about prosperity, not about having money, not about being rich. Prosperity, it's a slightly different concept. Well, we could characterize the state of prosperity as the state of flourishing, growth, well-being, happiness, and abundance. Therefore, we can also say that we are prosperous because we lack of nothing. Well, here is the factor that makes the difference between being rich and being prosperous. One who is rich is not necessarily in state of well-being, a flourishing state, a state of happiness and growth. Having money and lacking happiness, emotional satisfaction, or physical health does not mean you have prosperity. Coming back to those who think that they don't have to do anything and should be given prosperity. If it hasn't happened so far, what makes you think that it will happen from now on if you don't change anything about yourself? Some of you will tell me that here we are looking for to mine projects and airdrops in order to win. It's true, but most of them haven't changed anything about them. They refuse to learn and understand the mechanisms of this industry, which are therefore not complicated at all. Instead of capitalizing on free opportunity to learn something and acquire different skills, They only care about having the fish today. I mean, most people are interested in when they can withdraw the coins, not how to these coins could be invested and produce prosperity over time. They are not interested in the future of any project. They are not interested in the economics behind the coin. They are not interested in possible, I don't know, very deep problems. They are only interested in possible dumping as soon as the currency is listed on an exchange. Well, these users bring no value. On the contrary, they are not at all beneficial to any project. They should choose between getting out of this mentality in order to achieve prosperity. They are those ones who will lose because instead of getting a fishing rod and the knowledge with which they can fish for the rest of their lives, they only want the fish of tomorrow or today because maybe they will find another fish somewhere, and if not, they will continue to suffer hungry. Another day, prosperity is not for them. Someone asked questions at our last session. Can be reached with ice. As I said before, I prefer to say when we will reach prosperity, not reach. Yes, you will be prosperous when you have the right mindset, when you have enough knowledge and skills to allow you to generate added value that others needed, when you are prepared to collect the value yourself. You will be prosperous when you get out of that paradigm of having something today, because tomorrow I will see that will be happen. When you will have set a purpose, when you will have some objectives, when you will have some determination to do something, to start on a path that will lead you to prosperity, when you will show consistency and discipline to be able to travel the road, then, only then, you will be prosperous. But not overnight. This will not happen. Invest time, skills, and efforts to form your own micro communities. Apply discipline and mind day by day. Learn and acquire skills you didn't have. And invest intelligently in the medium and long term, perhaps at the expense of earning fast, which does not guarantee you anything in the future. Then you will become prosperous. I have no way of telling you when this will happen. It depends only on you. ICE Network offers you just this opportunity. It depends on each of you to make the transformation. That shift that will determine the change in the course of your life. You decide when we will become prosperous. Do you really want to become prosperous and free? Do you really want this? Do you think you can make a change inside yourself? Do you think you can make these efforts? Do you think you are capable of being true leaders? one moment, please, because I have a little technical problem. Don't know why, but it happens. Okay, problem solved. Okay, problem solved. We come back. Do you think um, that you can make this change with yourself? If you want, you can be free and prosperous. We will accompany you and give you all the information, all our support, and support so that all those of you who want to live free and prosperous, you will not be alone on this endeavor. We are together. ICE personal development program does this to be with you by offering you what you need to succeed in being what you want. I have prepared for you in this program many topics that will be useful both for your private life within the family and in the relationship with friends, but also on a professional level. From my point of view, a man must evolve in a balanced way, both personally and familially, but also professionally and socially. The development of skills such as assertive and honest communication, it's very, very important for both private and professional life. By learning intelligent and empathic communication techniques, you have the chance to generate positive energy around you, wherever you are, for the people around you to feel comfortable on your presence, and for this to be the premise of your success. The management of a project is essential to obtain the desired results in the time and with the resources that we can have at our disposal. That is, obtaining results in an efficient and effective manner. Remember this fact. To obtain efficient and effective results, this project must first of all be your personal project. If you will be able to draw and implement your own project personally, then you will definitely be able to think, design, and implement other projects as well. Then you will be proven that you are valuable. Those around you will recognize your value, and after you have demonstrated, I understand that someone of you would like everything to happen as soon as possible. Your transformation into a successful person will happen in time. I challenge you to listen to the real story of a friend of mine who wanted fortune to fall from the sky, an important amount of money, considering that his way he will become a successful man who will access prosperity. My friend dropped out of college, considering it a waste of time. In his mind is the fact that most of those who reached prosperity used too little of the technical and specialized knowledge learned in the college. Then he ended up going to work with force. He thought that that salary was quite low, taking it the account that he does not occupy a position that requires high qualification, but rather a position of average qualification. At one point, he dreams that he will become a millionaire and that he will be a rich and prosperous man. Well, his dream came true. He went to a lotto agency and placed a ticket as he normally did every week. Only this time it seems like it was something special. Neither did his parents, who every time advised him not to waste money on these lottery tickets until they stop objecting either. Huge surprise. One moment, please. I have the same. I don't know why. Uh, it's solved. Okay. Or I thought that it's solved. Okay. Now my camera it's working properly. On the Saturday, when the numbers were drawn, he was the only winner in the first category, without there being a second one who put the same combination. The joy was immense. You can imagine that he called all his friends, bragging about his luck. I couldn't believe it either, but it was true. I congratulated him and told him that from now on, he has a care and a responsibility. Amazed, he replied that from now on, he got rid of his worries, that his life is now, it's only joy and partying. As you can imagine, having a bit of more life experience, I didn't give up and continued to make him aware that if they came, the money could go as also. And as long as you have it, you also take care and responsibility for it. His replay sounded something like this. I know what to do with the money. Don't worry. What, you are jealous? I laughed it out loud. I confess you. Then I knew that in a short time, what was only possible would become real. I mean, my friend had not idea what to do, how to do it, and especially with whom to do it. I told him that I would be available for him whenever he wanted to ask for advice or a second opinion. So I showed my availability, nothing more. The reply of the lucky friend was that he will only invite me to his parties, that he does not need advice. Such a childish attitude made me have a feeling of compassion towards this man. After about 2 years, in which we found out from the circle of friends that he had been tricked by one or the other, I sense that he's in a damaged emotional state, considering the several failures and in such short time, only 2 years. I thought it would be good if they adopted the system of transforming failure into success. That was why I called him. I tried to help him learn something from the past failures, get back on the horse. I called for a long time. He seemed unwilling to answer. He answered later. His voice betrayed him. He was down to earth from an emotional point of view. I tried to support him, to make him see something good in the whole situation. I found out that, in fact, from all the money won on the lottery, he was left with a house, an expensive car that he hardly maintains, and with two lawsuits in court, two outcome of which did not seem to be favorable of my friend. This means that he was in a danger of losing everything, including the house. Well, two swindles took everything he had earned, luring him with astronomical profits. Moreover, in order for him not to ask for anyone's advice, they told him that the whole business falls apart if he tells anyone about this. As it was about tripling the amount with which he had entered in that business, our men did not say a word to anyone. They took him to a lawyer and made sign some documents. Lacking experience, give him the opportunity to consult with someone. My friend signed. As you can imagine, from that moment, the man lost everything. For 2 years, he stayed only on parties, on exotic vacations. He proved that he's a weak man without training, without any knowledge, in addition to the fact that he did not know how to truly profitable business doing, in addition to the fact that he did not know what an investment means, a return of investment, so basic things of business. He was neither emotionally prepared for prosperity. In the end, it ended up worse than 2 years ago. Left not only without material resources, with two lawsuits in court, but affected from a psycho-emotional point of view and even physically, he seems to be consuming himself like a candle. He reconsidered his own ego and agreed to talk, to receive help. In such situation, man needs two important things: compassion and support to find solutions. He doesn't need to be poked out with remarks like, I told you, you are wrong, or other reproaches of malicious remarks. Of course, you are wondering what happened to my friend. He understood what he was going to understand. He recalibrated his ego, come out of state of laziness, and now he started a small business with very little money, which he grows with enough difficulty, but also has satisfaction. He began to enjoy what he achieved by making constant efforts. He got over everything that happened. He left behind that period of madness. He set off with the lesson learned from the past, but with his eyes on the future, willing to do something, not to complain about his bad luck. Now, he's fine. He is also part of the snowman in our community. I want to emphasize few aspects. If you are not ready to become prosperous, A large amount of money will fall from the sky for nothing. You will not know. You will not able to do the right things with it, and you will end up losing it. If you are mentally and emotionally prepared to become prosperous, you set feasible but habitable enough goals to progress. If you have consistency and discipline, you will succeed. Now, I will answer some questions. I receive many questions about the value of ice. Any asset acquires a value when it is launched on the market. More correctly said, when it will be able to be treated. The market price or value is given by the ratio between demand and supply. This ratio is influenced by the amount of currency available for trading and the amount of currency offered for sale and the amount of currency for which there is a purchase request. In other words, a currency is not traded on the market. It does not have an established market value because demand and supply have not met. A little more plastic. We could imagine an auction where there is a quantity of A coins, let's say, sold on the table, and two traders are and two or three buyers, let's say. Let's say there are 50 coins for sale, and the buyers would like to buy more, let's say 75 coins. One of the sellers is asking, let's say, $1 for each coin, and the second is asking $1.2. Obviously, those who want to buy will rush to buy for $1, but the seller with $1 will sell the first 10 coins and at the initial price. And then, saying that there is more demand, he will also raise the price at $1.2. Buyers want to request price because it is the lowest price on the market at the time. When the first seller finishes selling his coins, the second seller's check will raise the price by another $0.2, asking now 1.4. At the same time, if in the meantime another seller appears on the market who will ask for $1 and will have a large amount of coins for sale, then the price will drop to $1 again. Once again, the price is given by the balance between demand and supply. If a product has not ended up being traded, then it has no way to having a value given by the market. This is the case with ice. Ice will be able to gain a market value only when it gets to be traded in exchanges after October 2024. Speculations that have not real basis in the realities of a market are harmful. They are harmful both for the project and for you, the users, the snowman. It does no one any good to throw around numbers that have not meaning. Well, I'm looking for our chat, and I identify a very important question. about KYC. Well, someone asked when KYC open. I will ask to be to pay attention because it's the second time when I answer for this question. The KYC process will take place in two stages. The first stage will be started soon, probably 2 weeks or 3 weeks. We will let you know in advance. This step one of the KYC process will involve a facial recognition procedure. Each user, when he wants to tap to mine, will be asked to facial recognition identification. A window will open on the application. The user will have to frame his face in the displayed frame. He will also be asked to express different emotions. Our system will record the image and compare it with one of our in our database, confirming at the same time that the subject it's a human subject, not a AI photograph. Here are some things to specify. The system will detect with extremely high precision if the same person has already authenticated with his image for another account. In this case, when the same digital image is identified for two accounts, the second account that fraudulently tried to mislead the system will be frozen and will never be able to be accessed again. This procedure does not take a long time. It will be requested at each check-in by pressing the ICE logo button. On the other hand, in the step 2 of the KYC process, which will take place a few months before the launch of the mainnet and the completion of the phase 1, that means October 2024, users will be required to provide a valid national ID or a passport. The photo on these documents must match the one with which that user authenticated in the first KYC step. If the photo on the national ID or passport does not match the one in the database, that account will not longer be able to be accessed. It will be frozen because it is obvious that it was a fraudulent attempt to circumvent the imposed rules and known since the beginning. Normal users, those who have no intention to defrauding the system, those who make efforts every day, promote their micro community, mine every day, well, they have nothing to fear from this KYC process. On the contrary, think that once we eliminate bots and multiple accounts, only those honest user will remain who believe that their coins are actually worth something. The system was created for you, normal people, not for bots and thieves. They will be eliminated until the last one. It will not exhaust another gate to that snow bots or snow thieves can sneak among the honest snowmen. ICE network and the snowman community are formed on the 4 basic principles: trust, transparency, power of the many, and lesson learned. If you left the situation as it is, we would violate all these principles of eyes. We cannot cultivate your trust in eyes if we let the rules be knowingly broken. No one would have trust that any other rules would be followed. Those projects that indulge in similar situation have lost the trust of their users because they are unable to admit that they have an invasions of robots, multiple accounts, and others. Once we carried out this analysis and detect the situation, we would violate one of the basic principles, named transparency. It would be as we were hiding and not being transparent towards you, towards the entire community. If you let these bots exist, we would violate the third principle too, power of the many. The people who are behind these bots would concentrate an unusually large number of coins, which would lead to the concentration of too much decision-making power in the hand of these people who would get this power through fraud. Hang in there. I discovered that if we accepted this situation, we would violate the fourth basic principle of ICE network. Lesson learned. Well, it would mean that we didn't learn anything from other projects that have millions of bot accounts, multiple accounts, and others. And that's why it's very difficult for them to go to the mainnet and pass the KYC procedures. It's very clear that either they do a superficial KYC that can be fooled by robots, or they will reach a significant smaller number of users. We have learned these lessons, and from now on, we're eliminating fraud. Someone asked me or asked rhetorically if this project is about emotions. I understand where the question is coming from. From one of the topics of the previous session. It was about emotions. This project, it's about you, about the community of snowmen, about each one of you, about your ideals, about your dreams, about achieving your goals, about what help us and what prevents us from become what we want to become. And yes, emotions are part of each of us. They can generate and mobilize particularly high energies, which channel towards the achievements of legitimate goals, can bring a very important contribution to our becoming. With this, today's sessions will end. Thank you very much. Thank you for your attention and involvement. May you be blessed with light, inner peace, and wisdom. Bye. Bye. All the best.